Hey, what's up, guys? This is Noah from Helium, and I'm going to show you how to completely automate a host deployer relationship on chain with Helium. So, a very common thing that happens in our community is somebody will go deploy a hotspot, let's say at a coffee shop, and they'll come to an agreement with the coffee shop owner that in exchange for the coffee shop owner keeping the internet on, making sure the hotspot stays running, they'll install the hotspot and provide the hotspot, and they agree on some split of rewards. So the deployer gets to keep 20% of the HNT, the owner gets to keep 80% of the HNT, or something like that. So let's say this is our hotspot that we deployed at our coffee shop. So first thing you're going to want to do is enable automation on that. So you click this, and we're going to automate it daily. Now again, you could do this weekly or monthly if you want to save transaction fees. It's really just, up to the arrangement that you have. And now all the hotspots in this wallet are going to get claimed on a daily basis about a minute from now. Now we want to enable splitting of the rewards that come off of that. So first we're going to want to create what we call a Fanout wallet. This is basically just a wallet that splits all the funds that come into it. So we'll go to the browser here, and we'll go to this new experimental app that we've created called fanout.tuktuk.fun. Connect our wallet, and you'll see what's happening here. You have tokens come in, so this is going to be HNT, and then it gets split amongst a certain number of wallets. So we're just going to call this coffee demo. The total number of shares I'm setting to 100. You could set this to 1,000, so you can give someone 300 shares instead of 30 shares. It gives you a little more granularity, but 100 is good. And for this example, we're doing daily. Now, some disclosures that you definitely want to read. The first one you'll actually see later when we create the Fanout that it only applies to assets to which you enable the Fanout, right? So we're going to enable it for HNT. This is because you don't want to be paying tons of sole transaction fees to fan out tokens you don't care about. Someone sends you some spam airdrop token that you don't care about, you don't really want to enable it for this. The wallet currently doesn't support native SOL. So do not send it native SOL. You will not be able to get it out without closing the entire fan out. All the transactions are final and irreversible. Yeah, this is the blockchain, but just so you know, tokens that go in are going to flow out to the wallets that own the shares or that have the shares, and you can't reverse that once it's flowed. You are able to change the shares that each wallet has. Whoever creates this is basically the admin and can do everything with it. And that being said, you are solely responsible for the recipient addresses and making sure that this is a legally compliant thing that you're building. If you type in an address wrong, the funds aren't going to go there. And finally, this is a new technology. There are risks that exist. The funds might not send because there's a bug, and it's not yet audited. So consider any funds that go into this at risk for the duration that they are in it, to some exploiter potentially, at least until we get it audited. So the example of this would be we set up the claim for this, and it's going to run, or it probably ran about a minute ago. Now that I'm setting up this fan out, the funds will probably run, a minute from now. So, during that 5 minutes or so between the funds landing in the fan out wallet and the funds getting fanned out, they're technically at risk. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to create this fan out. And you'll see that it's charging me a good amount of SOL in rent. Not really that much, but like $5. That is reclaimable. So when you close the fan out, you'll get that back. This is just the cost of creating state on Solana. There's some amount of this that is not going to come back to you because you're prepaying transaction fees that will be used to actually send the wallets their SOL. And we'll talk more about that later. So we have our coffee demo. And you'll see it's got 0.0203 funding in SOL. That's enough for a lot of transactions on Solana. So you probably won't have to worry about this thing running out of funding to send tokens to, the fan out, or to send tokens to the shareholders for a while. When you do eventually have to worry about it, you'll want to use this address and send SOL to it. But for the main part, the only address we care about right now is this wallet address. That wallet address is the wallet address of the Fanout wallet. And it's important to realize that this is not a wallet in a traditional sense. You don't have the seed phrase for it. You can't sign transactions. You can't do anything with it. It is a address that is owned by a smart contract whose only job is to take the tokens that you send into that address and distribute it amongst the wallets that hold shares in it. So, in order to enable the splitting of funds, like I said earlier, you have to choose which accounts you care about, which tokens you care about. So let's create one. Let's create a Helium token account in this at the speed of Solana. Now we can't enable the Fanout yet because nobody has any shares. So now let's go add shares. I'm gonna, copy just a dev wallet address to say that is the, let's say this is the coffee shop owner, and we're gonna give them 80%. And now we want to give ourselves 20%. So I'm going to exit out of this browser. I'm going to click this to copy my wallet address to be sure that it's exactly my address. And going back to the Fanout, I'll click my demo. I'm going to go and add my wallet address and give it 20 shares. And note that you can have partially issued shares. But the tokens that go in are going to get distributed pro rata to the ones that do have shares. So if you just had this dev wallet with 80 shares and tokens went in, all of the tokens would go to that wallet until you add this 20 shares, and now it'll split. Cool. So it's almost ready. Now you can see this enable Fanout is ready, and we enable it. It's going to take a little bit more rent sol from us, but now the whole thing is automated. So now we have a wallet that is going to take HNT and split it to the coffee shop owner and myself, but we have to hook the hotspot up to it. So with that, we can use a feature in Helium Wallet called setting custom recipients and change the hotspot to send all of its rewards to this wallet. So I'll exit out of this. I'll go back to my hotspots. I'll click this hotspot. And I'll click change recipient. I'm going to input this Fanout wallet as my recipient. I'm going to approve it. And after a second, it'll load here. And now we can see that the recipient is set to this DSOSOJ, which is our Fanout wallet. So tokens from that hotspot are going to claim daily automatically into this wallet, and then daily automatically around the time we created this wallet is going to fan out all of the HNT that's sent to it to these two wallets by their shares, assuming no bugs. But this is new experimental technology, so yeah. Give it a try. We want to see how deployers are using this before we actually codify it into core Helium UIs and protocols, because it's somewhat complex, and it involves a lot of topologies. So we really want to get this right when we integrate it directly. So if this is something that you do, something that you set up with your hosts, please give it a try and give us feedback. Let us know how it works. Thanks. See ya.